We just got off the subway and arrived in Kyoto, and gonna take a look around, see what there is to see, and go check out our Airbnb too. But check out this beautiful looking house behind me here. Absolutely gorgeous.
So here's our view in Kyoto. I think it's a little gloomy. I was expecting more traditional, but it's okay. No, this is a wonderful view, and this is going to be our home for the next 3 days. We have a wacky katsu. When you're in Japan, there's always something you say before a meal, itadakimasu, which is basically saying grace, but in Japanese. And before eating this delicious meal, I say itadakimasu. Yeah, we're back in the room, and they gave us some complimentary garb for the night. I feel like a 17th century peasant. I just feel like a 17th century peasant, I think about it. Good morning. It is day 2 here in Kyoto. We're our first full day, and we're gonna go on a shrine tour today. Castles and gardens. That's exactly what we're gonna do. Here is the Kyoto National Garden right across from where we're staying. So I figured, why not start there? We've decided to take the middle path here between all these shrubs, and it seems it's going to lead us to our first shrine. Shintoism is the national religion here in Japan. The emperor himself is the head of the Shinto faith. Shintoism is a bit like Buddhism for those that aren't fully familiar. It actually originates and stems in many ways from Buddhism, Confucianism, but also animist traditional beliefs here in the island. Behind me is a torii gate. These always mark the entrances of a spiritual center. Walking around this garden, absolutely stunning scenery. It's almost like one of those places you could film one of those action scenes. That's an old tree, isn't it?
We don't all get that luxury, do we?
Your target is simple. Get him by sundown.
Consider it done.
It's no wonder everyone is fascinated with Japanese culture. There's a gentleman over here whose only job is just to politely bow and greet everyone that comes by like a church entrance, and that is something so endearing about the people here, that they always acknowledge your presence and treat you like king. And very fitting for this palace.
It would be hard to find a city in Japan more historic than Kyoto. And it's hard to find a more historic site in Kyoto than here, in the Imperial Palace. After the Nara period was over, the emperor moved his residence here to Kyoto during the Heian period. The Heian period set the tone for Japanese imperial leadership. And when it disappeared for 1,000 years, and nationalists wanted to bring back the idea of the emperor, they appealed not to any other period in Japanese history, but to the Heian period of when the emperor resided here. And they also appealed to the aesthetic that has become so just typical of Japanese culture that originated in the Heian period, such as Japanese poetry, the love of nature and cherry blossoms in particular, and a wonderful distinctive style of architecture. After a few hundred years of imperial rule in the Heian period, the emperor's rule came to an end when the first samurai shogunate, the Ashikaga shogunate, took over and ushered in that 1,000 years of samurai rule.
While Nate discusses his historical matters, I'm here for linguistic matters. First of all, look at that beautiful pond behind me. There's the popular Japanese style of poetry called the haiku, and there's one about a frog jumping in water. It goes furuike ya kawazu tobikomu mizu no oto, and basically describes this scenery quite perfectly. I see how someone could have been sitting in one of these rooms across the way, hearing a frog plop in the water and writing that little poem. Japanese is a language in which nature is enshrined, and a lot of that obviously comes from the kanji system, which originally was based on literal pictographs. Water looked like water splashing a mountain, very much still looks like a mountain. Now it's time for lunch. Got our metro tickets and one for him. And we will be off 2 stations south. I had a lovely lady come help me, well, mostly to practice her English. She said she took a course. We're here getting lunch, and we happen to be sitting across from a geisha parlor. I guess it's a good time to talk about geishas. Basically, it's this very high art form. A lot of people confuse geishas for, like, you know, prostitutes or something like that. And that did emerge around the end of the geisha era, around World War II, when people pretended to dress up like geishas and they would start to go around and frolic about. The geisha art form itself is a very high-end and expensive service that usually only businessmen or elites would be able to afford. Another thing Japan is really known for is stationery. I have just invaded a local stationery shop. I'm replenishing my highlighter collection. I've stumbled upon another stationery shop, and this one is even more beautiful. My philosophy is, if I can't afford it, I film it. We also have some Japanese calligraphy tools here. I personally still have my stock from China 8 years ago. I've yet to master calligraphy, but if you ever need some. The reason I'm being so frugal is because Nate and I are on the search for kintsugi pottery. Now, the Japanese art form of kintsugi consists of taking a pot, dropping it essentially, and then putting it back together. There's a certain beauty in something being broken and carefully repaired, and then even looking more beautiful after the fact, and this is why we want some kintsugi pottery. We're looking around Kyoto. If not here, then hopefully in Tokyo, but this shop right here might be the spot. Well, our friend had some kintsugi, but it was very expensive, around 350 bucks for a little bowl. A little out of my budget. But our search will continue. But right now, we're at one of the temples where Ieyasu, one of the shoguns, commits seppuku. And it's a very major event in Japanese history. Are those students of Bushido or anime fans?
That's actually kind of hard to say. I'm gonna go. Yeah, no, not students of Bushido. I mean, I was sitting here thinking about it, and they might actually be students of Bushido in the strict sense. I mean, they're dressing up in the traditional garb of samurai and female people in the samurai time, and so I don't know. My innate reaction might be wrong, and they might in fact be more advanced students of Bushido than even I.
Something I like to do in every country is visit local bookstores. And unfortunately, that's really rough on my wallet. The cover art in Japan is quite distinct to the rest of the world. Where you have very minimal covers in France, that exists here too. But what's interesting about the covers of Japan is that they exist on a spectrum of calm and minimal like this, or on the complete opposite side, you get something like this, where it just has everything, including the plot, description, synopsis, on the cover itself. I'm now here in a fancy little gourmet supermarket. Reminds me a lot of the one in the GUM in Moscow, mostly because it's very well kept, very proper, and it has ingredients from all over the world. You can get just about anything you want. We're probably just gonna go for a snack, maybe even little red bean paste again.
Get ready for something wild.
Good morning. Day 2 or 2.5 from Kyoto. This is our last full day here, and we're gonna go up to Mount Kurama, which is straight north here. Obviously not by foot, but by metro. And then we have a really nice surprise for dinner. We have a special sponsor, Nate's dad, who decided to treat us to some Kobe beef. Now, I personally don't really have the means. We're both college kids, but we talked to the investors. They said they liked it, and we're gonna film it so they can vicariously partake in this delicious experience. So, first, Mount Kurama, then dinner, but first, breakfast. That other restaurant.
You got a roll, Nate?
I did. What's in the chest? Oh. Sorry, I started eating, but today, for breakfast, I got this here Wagyu on rice. I got pork with some cabbage. And then Nate, of course, over here, I'm gonna steal your food. Got an egg bowl with the rice. I have food envy, but it's okay. We're not in Hong Kong anymore, but old habits die hard. We had to stop to get some boba. When did your boba addiction start, sir?
I was actually just thinking about that.
You were?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, the first time my mom ordered it for me in North Carolina one time, and I thought it was the strangest thing I'd ever tasted, and I did not encounter it again for many years until I decided it was the best thing that the universe had to offer.
My boba addiction started in Prague. It was so cheap, I couldn't resist. I couldn't say no. And one thing led to another, one sip followed by another sip. Oh, my order's ready. So good. One thing I always love to do when traveling is, it's a little old-timey, I love to send postcards. And we're gonna do that here at the post office. 아메리카니, 요로바니, 医者です。いくらです。
ポストカードですか？
はい。
ポストカード、ね、100円。
を入れてください。
Where are we heading off to?
I don't know. Which mountain is it called? So we are going to Mount Kurama. I actually don't know what's on Mount Kurama other than the pictures that TJ showed me earlier, but I'm eager to explore and find out what is there.
We've arrived here at Kurama. It is a mountain village here north of Kyoto. We're going to be going up the Tsuzura Ori path, which is over this way. And we're going to try to get some fresh mountain air. You can see it's raining just a little, kind of like Hawaii, little spritz. And, well, welcome to Kurama.
I am very glad to be out here in the mountains. We've been doing a lot of time in the cities, and that's fun and all, but the mountains have always held a special place in my heart, and these clean, clear, cold mountain streams, it's just refreshing. So I can't wait to get up to a little bit higher elevation and see what the countryside out here in Japan is like.
Wow. This place is beautiful. It's almost like something you'd see in a movie.
Fine mountains, aren't they, Mr. Ivanovich?
How did you find me?
Clever trick you pulled. Inside a U.S. allies jurisdiction, but outside of common surveillance methods. For most people, it would have worked too. Don't try to run. We've got guys posted up on that ridge and behind that road. So let's just talk this out.
Well, in game of Russian roulette, you must learn to quit when ahead. And what gave me away?
The fact that you don't look Asian at all.
One of the main reasons I like to travel, scratch that, one of the main reasons I feel we all need to travel is to see God's beauty. This is something I feel that when you live in an urban setting for too long, you often forget just how much beauty there is of God's creation out there. And I've seen some beautiful things while traveling. The mountains in Georgia, the hillsides in Guatemala, the beach side in North Mexico, the sands of Egypt, the list goes on. There's always something more, whether it be the moss on the rocks or the cherry blossoms of Kyoto. I feel that it's very important to go see these things, not because they are God, but to remind ourselves that there is a God that intentionally created those things. How much more did he put into us human beings who enjoy them, who use them to create art? This view right here personifies that. The main point of our trips for Nate and I is not just to see the world and make funny action videos, it's to experience the Lord's gifts and blessings. And I feel that if you ever want to go travel, that this is one of the top reasons that you should. You know what time it is. We're dressed in our business casual, our country casual, and we're gonna be going to get some Kobe beefsteak.
the next level. Look, you can see all of Kyoto out from that window. The towels they brought us are moist and warm. That small one, that's your piece. This obviously is the Kobe beef. We have sea salt, wasabi, and garlic for seasoning, although we are recommended to just do the salt on the first bit and then season it with the wasabi, garlic, and soy sauce. So.
He's having a spiritual moment.
I don't want to talk while eating it because I need to have this moment, okay, y'all?
Camera's off. Here we go. That is lovely. It's like eating butter, but a protein version of it. It slithers down your throat, but in a way that's not weird. It's almost like butter, but in a protein suit. That's also weird. A vegetable, but with legs. What? It's like human meat, but no, what?
I've never eaten ice cream with forks before.
I hope you liked our journey to Kyoto. This was exactly as I imagined it would be and more. We saw the bustling streets of Osaka that were actually quite quiet. We saw the calm streets of Kyoto that were actually quite bustling. Who would have thought? And we walked up Mount Kurama. We went all around this beautiful city. Signing off for now. We'll see you guys on the bullet train to Tokyo tomorrow.